In life, we all encounter toxic people who drain our energy, bring negativity into our lives, and make it difficult to maintain a peaceful state of mind. As much as we might wish to avoid these individuals, sometimes it's simply not possible. So, how can we deal with toxic people in a way that preserves our own well-being and peace of mind? Enter Stoicism, the ancient Greek philosophy that offers timeless wisdom on how to navigate life's challenges with resilience, reason, and inner strength. In this video, we'll explore 12 intelligent ways to deal with toxic people, all inspired by the principles of Stoicism. From setting clear boundaries to cultivating empathy and understanding, these strategies will equip you with the tools you need to handle difficult people with grace and wisdom. Whether you're dealing with a toxic coworker, family member, or friend, these Stoic-inspired approaches will help you maintain your composure and inner peace, even in the face of negativity and conflict. So if you're ready to learn how to deal with toxic people like a true Stoic, keep watching. Let's dive into these 12 intelligent strategies and discover how ancient wisdom can help us navigate modern-day challenges. Number 1. Set clear boundaries. One of the most important things you can do when faced with a toxic person is to establish clear boundaries. This means defining for yourself what behaviors and treatment you are and are not willing to accept from others. Be specific about what crosses the line for you. Maybe you won't tolerate shouting, personal attacks, constant criticism, or attempts to manipulate you. Maybe you need the other person to respect your personal space, privacy, time, and energy. Give careful thought to what your limits are. Once you've gotten clear on your boundaries, you have to communicate them. Do so firmly and directly. Use "I feel" statements like, "I feel disrespected when you speak to me that way," or "I'm not okay with being shouted at." Be prepared to reinforce your boundaries if the other person tests them or pushes back. You may need to restate your position calmly and confidently. In some cases, you'll have to distance yourself or cut off contact if your boundaries continue to be violated. Remember, boundaries aren't about controlling the other person. You can't do that. They're about controlling what you will and won't accept in a relationship. You teach people how to treat you. Having clear, well-defined boundaries is key to cultivating healthy relationships and protecting yourself from toxic ones. It's not always easy, but it's an essential skill for dealing with difficult people. Number 2, don't engage in their drama. Toxic individuals often thrive on stirring up conflict, controversy, and negativity. They may try to bait you into arguments, lure you into gossip, or pull you into their never-ending crises and complaints. Don't take the bait. Engaging will only deplete your energy and peace of mind. You can't beat a toxic person at their own game. The more you argue with an irrational person, the more irrational you have to become. Getting sucked into the negativity will leave you feeling frustrated, upset, and emotionally drained. Instead, practice disengaging. When they try to pick a fight, calmly say something like, "I'm not going to argue about this," and change the subject or walk away. If they come to you with gossip, shut it down with a response like, "I'm not comfortable talking about someone when they're not here to defend themselves." If they try to dump their latest drama on you, set a boundary with, "I don't have the bandwidth to take this on." This doesn't mean you have to ignore genuine issues or never disagree with anyone. But there's a difference between problem solving and needless drama. Learn to spot the difference. Save your time and energy for worthwhile discussions, not toxic arguments that go nowhere. Keep your side of the street clean. By refusing to engage in toxicity, you take away its power. You maintain your dignity and peace of mind. It's not always easy, especially when they're pushing your buttons, but disengaging is one of the best ways to deal with a toxic person. Don't let them steal your serenity. Number 3, practice emotional detachment. Picture this. You're dealing with a toxic person who's spewing negativity, criticism, and hurtful words. It's like they're hurling poisonous darts, and your natural instinct is to feel each one as it hits, letting it penetrate deep into your emotional well-being. But what if you could develop a superpower that makes you impervious to these toxic darts? That's the power of emotional detachment. Emotional detachment is a skill straight out of the Stoic philosophy playbook. It's not about becoming a cold, uncaring robot. No, it's about creating a healthy psychological distance between yourself and the toxic person's behavior. It's recognizing that their negativity is a reflection of their own inner turmoil, not a reflection of your worth. Imagine you're wearing an invisible emotional armor. When the toxic person starts their tirade, visualize their words hitting your armor and bouncing right off, leaving you unscathed. Repeat to yourself, "This is about them, not me. I don't have to take this personally." It's a bit like being a duck in the rain. The water rolls right off your back, leaving you unaffected. That's the power of detachment. You acknowledge the negativity without absorbing it. But emotional detachment isn't just a mental trick, it's a practice. It means pausing before you react, taking a deep breath, and choosing your response carefully. It's recognizing that you can have compassion for the toxic person's pain while still holding them accountable for their actions. Think of it like this. Their toxicity is like a hot potato. They're trying to toss it to you, but you don't have to catch it. You can let it fall, recognizing it for what it is, their issue, not yours. Developing emotional detachment is like building a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. And as you get better at it, you'll find yourself less drained by toxic interactions. You'll be able to see the situation more clearly and respond more effectively. Most importantly, emotional detachment is a profound act of self-care. It's a way of protecting your own emotional landscape from pollution. It's recognizing that while you can't control the toxicity of others, you can control how much you let it affect you. So, the next time you're faced with a toxic person, remember the power of emotional detachment. Visualize that armor, let their words bounce off, and choose your response. It's not easy, but it's a skill that can transform how you navigate difficult relationships. Master emotional detachment, and you'll have a potent tool for dealing with toxicity while preserving your own inner peace. Number 4, focus on solutions, not problems. When you're dealing with a toxic person, it's easy to get sucked into a vortex of negativity. They have a knack for dwelling on problems, rehashing old grievances, and spinning conversations in a pessimistic direction. But here's the thing, you don't have to go down that rabbit hole with them. Instead, you can be the one to steer the interaction in a more positive, productive direction by focusing on solutions rather than problems. This is a key principle in Stoic philosophy. The idea that we should focus our energy on what we can control and change, rather than getting bogged down in what we can't. When you're dealing with a toxic person, you may not be able to change their attitude or behavior, but you can control your own response and the direction of the conversation. So how do you do this? First, when the toxic person starts complaining or dwelling on a problem, acknowledge their feelings briefly. You might say something like, "I understand that this situation is frustrating for you." This shows that you've heard them without getting pulled into a lengthy discussion of the issue. Then, pivot the conversation towards solutions. Ask questions like, "What do you think could be done to improve this situation?" Or, "What's one step we could take to start addressing this problem?" By doing this, you're shifting the focus from wallowing in the problem to actively seeking solutions. Now, the toxic person may resist this at first. They may try to pull the conversation back to complaining or blaming. But stay firm in your focus on solutions. You might say something like, "I hear you, but dwelling on the problem isn't going to change it. Let's focus our energy on what we can do to make things better." If they continue to resist, you may need to set a boundary. You could say, "I'm willing to discuss solutions with you, but if you just want to dwell on the problem, I'm going to have to end this conversation." By consistently steering conversations towards solutions, you're doing a few important things. First, you're refusing to get pulled into the toxic person's negative spiral. Second, you're modeling a more constructive approach to problems. And third, you're empowering both yourself and the other person to take action rather than just complaining. This doesn't mean you'll solve every problem or that the toxic person will suddenly become a positive thinker. But by focusing on solutions, you're taking control of what you can in the interaction. You're refusing to let toxicity dominate the conversation. Number 5. Be assertive, but remain calm. When you're dealing with a toxic person, it can feel like you're walking a tightrope. On one hand, you don't want to be a doormat, letting them walk all over you. On the other hand, you don't want to sink to their level by lashing out or losing your cool. The key is to find that sweet spot in the middle, being assertive while remaining calm. It's a balancing act that takes practice, but it's a skill that can utterly transform your interactions with toxic people. Being assertive means standing up for yourself, expressing your thoughts, feelings, and needs clearly and confidently. It's about setting boundaries and communicating them firmly. When the toxic person is crossing a line, you might say something like, "I need you to stop speaking to me that way. It's not okay." Or, "I understand you're upset, but I won't tolerate being yelled at." Notice how these statements are clear and direct but not aggressive. They communicate your position without attacking the other person. That's the essence of assertiveness. It's firm, but respectful. Now here's the challenge. Being assertive with a toxic person can be scary. They may react with anger, defensiveness, or manipulation. They may try to make you feel guilty for standing up for yourself. This is where the second part of the equation comes in, remaining calm. When you remain calm in the face of toxicity, you're sending a powerful message. You're showing that you're in control of yourself and the situation. You're not letting their negativity pull you into an emotional reactivity. Practically, this means taking a deep breath before you respond. It means keeping your voice steady and your body language neutral, even if you're feeling angry or upset inside. It means refusing to take the bait when they try to escalate the situation. You might say something like, "I understand you're upset, but I'm not going to continue this conversation if you keep yelling." Or, "I've stated my boundary. If you can't respect it, I'm going to have to end this interaction." By staying calm, you're depriving the toxic person of the reaction they're often seeking. They want to see you get upset, lose control, or give in. When you don't, it takes the wind out of their sails. It shows them that their tactics aren't working. Now, this doesn't mean you never show emotion or that you let them walk all over you. Assertiveness is about expressing your feelings and needs, but you do so in a measured, controlled way. It's a bit like being a sturdy oak tree in a storm. The winds of toxicity may blow hard, but you remain rooted, steady, and unshaken. You bend, but you don't break. Learning to be assertive while remaining calm is a superpower when dealing with toxic people. It allows you to stand your ground without getting pulled into their chaos. It's a way of honoring yourself and your boundaries while still maintaining your composure. Number 6. Limit your exposure. On one side, there's a group radiating negativity, constantly complaining, criticizing, and stirring up drama. On the other side, there's a group emanating positivity, encouragement, and support. Where would you rather spend your time? The answer is obvious, and it's a key Stoic principle for dealing with toxic people. Limit your exposure. Here's the thing, you can't always completely avoid toxic people. They might be coworkers, family members, or even friends. But you do have control over how much time and energy you give them. And that's where the power of limiting your exposure comes in. Think of your time and energy as a precious resource. Every minute you spend with a toxic person is a minute you're not spending with someone who uplifts and supports you. Every ounce of energy you give to dealing with their negativity is energy you're not investing in your own growth and well-being. So how do you limit your exposure practically? First, set boundaries around your interactions. If you have to work with a toxic person, keep your interactions focused on the task at hand. Politely excuse yourself from conversations that veer into negative territory. If it's a family member, limit the time you spend at gatherings or set clear boundaries about topics you're willing to discuss. Second, be intentional about who you give your time and energy to. Prioritize interactions with people who lift you up, who inspire you, who make you feel good about yourself. Surround yourself with positivity. The more you fill your life with supportive, encouraging influences, the less room there is for toxicity to take hold. This doesn't mean completely cutting off toxic people, unless that's necessary for your well-being, but it does mean being selective about how much of yourself you give them. It's about creating a healthy balance in your relationships. Think of it like this. If your life is a garden, toxic people are like weeds. If you let them, they'll take over, choking out the healthy plants. But if you regularly tend to your garden, pruning back the weeds and nurturing the flowers, you create an environment where positivity can thrive. The same is true for your emotional landscape. The more you cultivate positivity and limit your exposure to negativity, the more resilient and centered you become. You're less likely to get pulled into the drama and chaos of toxic people. Now, limiting exposure isn't always easy. Toxic people can be masters at pulling you back in, whether through guilt, manipulation, or the sheer force of habit. That's why it's important to have a solid sense of your own boundaries and to communicate them clearly. It's also why surrounding yourself with positive influences is so crucial. They reinforce your commitment to your own well-being. So the next time you find yourself getting pulled into the orbit of a toxic person, remember this Stoic wisdom: limit your exposure. Give yourself permission to step back to invest your time and energy where it will be appreciated and reciprocated. Prioritize interactions that leave you feeling good about yourself and your life. It's a simple principle, but it's profound in its impact. By being intentional about who and what you give your energy to, you take back control of your emotional life. You create space for positivity to flourish, and you shore up your own resilience in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Embrace this Stoic strategy and watch how it shifts the balance of your relationships and your life towards greater peace, joy, and fulfillment. Number 7, lead by example. In the intricate dance of dealing with toxic people, there's one step that's often overlooked, but holds immense power: leading by example. It's a principle deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, the idea that the most effective way to influence others is to embody the virtues you wish to see in the world. When it comes to navigating the choppy waters of toxic interactions, this principle becomes a lighthouse guiding you to calmer seas. Imagine this: you're in a workplace where gossip, negativity, and disrespect are the norm. It's easy to get pulled into that vortex, to respond to a snide comment with an equally cutting remark, to meet rudeness with rudeness. But what if, instead, you chose to be the change you want to see? What if you met those toxic behaviors with unwavering kindness, respect, and professionalism? Here's the thing: when you lead by example, you create a powerful contrast. Your actions become a mirror, reflecting back to the toxic person the impact of their behavior. When you respond to their negativity with calm professionalism, it highlights the inappropriateness of their conduct. When you meet their disrespect with unwavering respect, it showcases the power of taking the high road. But leading by example isn't just about dealing with toxic people. It's about cultivating a personal code of conduct that guides your interactions with everyone. It's about choosing, in every moment, to embody the values you hold dear. So, in practice, what does this look like? It means treating everyone with kindness, even when they're not kind to you. It means speaking respectfully, even when others are using disrespectful language. It means maintaining your professionalism, even in the face of unprofessional behavior. It's not about being a doormat or tolerating abuse. You can still set boundaries and stand up for yourself, but you do so in a way that aligns with your values. You communicate your boundaries firmly but respectfully. You stand your ground with dignity and poise. Leading by example is about being the embodiment of the change you want to see. It's about understanding that you can't control others, but you can control yourself. And by consistently modeling positive behaviors, you create a powerful ripple effect. Think of it like this: every interaction is an opportunity to plant a seed. When you plant seeds of kindness, respect, and professionalism, you never know what might grow. Your behavior might inspire others to rethink their own actions. It might encourage someone to stand up to toxicity rather than participate in it. It might slowly but surely shift the culture of your workplace or community. Now, leading by example isn't always easy. There will be times when it feels like you're swimming against the tide, when your kindness is met with cruelty, your respect with ridicule. But this is where the true strength of your character shines. It's in those moments that your commitment to your values is truly tested and truly transformative. The Stoics understood that we don't control outcomes, but we do control our actions. By focusing on embodying your values, you're taking control of what you can, your own behavior, and that in itself is a profound act of personal empowerment. So the next time you find yourself in the midst of toxicity, remember the power of leading by example. Let your actions be the embodiment of the kindness, respect, and professionalism you wish to see in the world. Plant those seeds, even in the rockiest of soils, because you never know what might take root and grow. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, being the change you want to see. It's a principle that has the power to transform not just your interactions with toxic people, but your entire approach to life. Embrace it, and watch as your own steadfast example becomes a beacon of light in even the darkest of interpersonal landscapes. Number 8. Document incidents. When dealing with a toxic person, it can feel like you're stuck in a frustrating cycle of he said, she said. Their manipulative tactics often include denial and gaslighting, making you question your own reality. This is where the power of documentation comes in. It's a way to create a concrete record of the toxic behavior you've experienced. To effectively document incidents, be specific and detailed. Note the date, time, location, and any witnesses present. Instead of vague accusations, provide concrete examples of the behavior. Also, record your own actions, such as attempts to address the issue directly or reports to supervisors. Remember, documentation isn't about seeking revenge or catching the person in the act. It's a tool for addressing the issue through appropriate channels and protecting yourself. It's a way to stand up for truth and refuse to let the toxic person's narrative be the only one. As a Stoic, you recognize that while you can't control the toxic person's actions or the consequences they face, you can control your own commitment to truth and integrity. Documentation is a powerful tool in this pursuit. So, when faced with toxic behavior, don't hesitate to document it. Let your records be a silent witness to your experiences. And remember, by standing up for truth, you're embodying the Stoic virtues of justice and integrity, even in the face of challenging circumstances. Number 9. Seek support from others. Stoics understood the power of surrounding yourself with people who uplift and encourage you. Your support network can offer validation, perspective, and practical guidance when you're facing negativity from a toxic person. Building a strong support system means being intentional about the people you include in your life. Seek out friends, family, colleagues, or even a therapist who can be your sounding board and your cheerleaders. Let them remind you of your strengths when the toxic person's words make you doubt yourself. Remember, seeking support is not a weakness. It's a sign of wisdom and self-awareness. It's a way of affirming your own worth and refusing to let toxicity dim your light. Toxic people thrive on isolation, so by reaching out and connecting with others, you're sending a powerful message. The next time you're dealing with a toxic person, don't go it alone. Reach out to your support network. Let them be your guiding light as you navigate the challenges. Embrace the Stoic wisdom of the strength found in community and connection. Number 10. Practice self-care. When dealing with toxic people, it's easy to get so caught up in their negativity that you forget to take care of yourself. But self-care is a crucial tool for building resilience and maintaining your well-being in the face of toxicity. It's a key principle in Stoic philosophy, the idea that to be your best self in the face of challenges, you need to prioritize your own physical, emotional, and mental health. Physical self-care is about nourishing your body with healthy food, sleep, and exercise. It's also about engaging in activities that make you feel good in your body, whether that's dancing, hiking, or getting a massage. Emotional self-care is about tending to your heart and allowing yourself to process your feelings. It's about setting boundaries, surrounding yourself with positivity, and finding healthy ways to express your emotions, like journaling or talking to a friend. Mental self-care is about nurturing your mind and maintaining perspective. It's about engaging in mentally stimulating activities, practicing mindfulness, and challenging negative self-talk. The Stoics were big proponents of mental discipline, using techniques like negative visualization and self-reflection. To make self-care a priority, start small. Incorporate little acts of self-care into your daily routine, like taking a short walk, writing in a gratitude journal, or practicing deep breathing. Remember, self-care isn't selfish. It's a powerful tool for honoring your own needs and well-being. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose how you react to toxicity, and that starts with tending to yourself. So, make self-care a non-negotiable. Let it be your secret weapon against negativity, your foundation of resilience. When you take care of yourself, you're not just surviving toxicity, you're thriving in spite of it. That's the power of Stoic self-care. If you are listening to this, thank you for staying till the end. If you feel any of these Stoic lessons resonated with you today, feel free to start a Stoic discussion in the comments. I welcome Stoic discussions as they are what the great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca advised for. If you enjoy Stoicism and its philosophy, then our new newsletter where you can sign up for in the description or comments is for you. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, and if you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you find peace and serenity in the Stoic ways.